So let's give a big hand to Halldór.
Thank you. Yeah, my name is Halldór Eldjárn. I'm a musician and computer programmer, a computer scientist. What I'm going to show you is a small project that I made. It's actually a generative music experience that lives on the web and is a rendition of a huge image library that NASA released to the public domain a few years ago, which includes 15,000 pictures taken during the Apollo space missions in the 60s, 70s. These images are just snapshots. They're like, some of them are of quality that you wouldn't even put on Instagram. And they are like, yeah, they are like just looking at a Snapchat story from the moon, which is quite amazing. Some of these images we already know. The most famous shots of the Earth rise and the picture of Neil Armstrong on the moon. But yeah, the others got a bit left behind until now. The way this works is that I randomly choose a picture to show the user, and it starts to appear on the web page. As it appears, the soundtrack for this picture is generated and played to the user, and that is what you can hear. So the web page or the website itself, the program that is running, is actually generating this music in real time on your computer in the browser. So there's no audio files or nothing created before except for some code, and the rest is just the browser interpreting the picture and playing it to you as a musical piece. Each picture has a unique soundtrack, and it will always sound the same for each picture. I used some computer vision algorithms to try to get an understanding of the mood in the picture. So some of them are very dark and nothing is happening, and then the computer vision algorithm returns that, yeah, this is a very moody picture. It gives it a low mood ranking. But for other pictures that have like high contrast and lots of visible material and objects and things, it gives it a high mood score. So the mood of the music changes with the mood of the picture. Are there any programmers in here? All of you, maybe? Yeah, okay. So I tried a very complicated way to begin with to find this mood parameter, but I ended up with a very simple solution which sounded the best and worked the best. And that was to just count the features or count the edges, the sharp edges in the picture, and boil that down to a simple number, even like calculating logarithm on the way because it sounded better or made more sense. I'm not that much into statistics, so I'm not quite sure what's going on there, but it sounds nice. And also because this is like experience first. It's not about the technology to make it correct or sharp, because that doesn't matter if the piece sounds like crap. But yeah, I think this was a very nice speculation in itself to yeah, to act like an artist with very strict programming languages and a very rational and logical material, but to just paint something on the canvas with it, if you understand where I'm going. A little about the sound generation. Seems that the network is okay. There it comes. A little about how the musical piece is composed. Again, I used a sort of broken implementation of a cellular automata, which is, in simple terms, a little bit like maybe a game of Go, or you have a playing field. You can think of it as a playing field, and each field has a certain number on it, and I interpret this number as a note in a musical scale. So 0 is the root note, maybe in the key of C major, that's C, and 2, that would be D, which is 2 semitones from C. And what I do is that I have some rules for this playing field, and I decide I'm going to put a random square somewhere in this playing field, and this will be the first note. This will be the first note in the chord progression in the song. Then I advance the algorithm, and the rules say, yeah, okay, now this block is going to divide in 2 and it's going to spread to another block. Now we have 2 notes going on. And again, we do another iteration. Now we have 4 notes. We have a chord. This chord is, it's the 5th, 4th, and it should sound okay. Yeah, it's a nice chord. But then for the next iteration, there are too many notes at one place, so one note drops out. So we get a movement of these squares throughout the playing field. And I put the notes in the playing field so that adjacent fields, they sound good together. So we get some sort of a random walk or a randomly generated chord progression. Not completely random, but yeah, random with tweaks. Yeah, I implemented this cellular automata and did one mistake. It sounded very good. I fixed the mistake. It started sounding horribly, so I made the mistake again. I would never do this in production for like a huge client, but this is art. We are allowed to do whatever. I have also shown this piece as an installation, and to end this, I'm just gonna point out that you can visit the webpage at this URL, and you can listen at home to all the 15,000 images if you have time. It takes 20 days. Yeah, I thought I was stuck there in the zoomed in. It's quite funny. Yeah, so you can listen to it in headphones. It's very good to like just listen to it and space out, or if you're having a very dark themed party, you can play it as well. But to end this, I'm just going to show a short video of this as an installation, because we're working with this in the web world, in the computer, inside of the computer, and communicating this through the screen and the speakers, which are like the usual peripherals. But I built a self-playing harp, or a small harp that has strings and some solenoids that can play the strings. And this is just connected with USB to the computer, and the browser or this piece would then send commands to the harp to to play along the music. So we have a connection to the physical world, but the music is being generated by a computer, so there's no human there, but it's sort of an autonomous thing. Unfortunately, I don't have the harp with me. It's sort of in a bad shape after traveling Europe. But version 2 of the harp is due this winter. So stay tuned for more updates. This is a just very short clip. You can see the harp there, and you can hear it playing. This was Poco Apollo, and thank you for listening.